Well, circling back to our other top story now, the former CEO of fallen crypto exchange giant FTX has been arrested in the Bahamas. Sam Bankman-Fried was taken into custody yesterday and is awaiting extradition after U.S. authorities filed charges. This morning, the SEC also announced separate charges for defrauding investors. So at least $1 billion is unaccounted for now, and FTX has filed for bankruptcy protection. Scott MacFarlane is joining us this morning from Washington with more on the fallout on Capitol Hill. Hey, Scott, good morning. Because this guy was expected to be in D.C. this morning.
And that won't be happening. We know the Securities and Exchange Commission has just charged Sam Bankman-Fried with orchestrating a scheme to defraud investors. And in a parallel action today, the federal court will unseal a criminal case against Bankman-Fried. The scrutiny here in Washington is clearly growing into a man whose business imploded in a matter of weeks.
In the emerging, intricate world of cryptocurrency, Sam Bankman-Fried was king, running FTX, one of the world's largest exchanges. Until, all of a sudden, in November, the company fell apart and the king was dethroned. And he spoke out about it last month.
Look, I screwed up. I was CEO. I was the CEO of FTX. And, I mean, that means that I was responsible, ultimately, for us doing the right things, and we didn't.
Investors lost billions, and FTX fell into bankruptcy. The CEO who'd replaced Bankman-Fried blamed the company's failure on grossly inexperienced and unsophisticated individuals. The nation's Treasury Secretary spoke with Norah O'Donnell on 60 Minutes about the failure before Bankman-Fried's arrest.
A lot of people have lost a lot of money, and from the details that I'm aware of, the controls were utterly lacking. Consumer protections that Americans expect to be in place were simply not there. Importantly, this company mainly operated in the Bahamas, and I think that wasn't an accident. We do have protections, and some of them may even apply to crypto exchanges in the United States.
Bankman-Fried, who ran the business in the Bahamas, was scheduled to appear before the U.S. House Financial Services Committee today to be put under oath and answer questions about the failure of his company and the shockwave it sent through the digital currency industry. But at the request of American authorities, police in the Bahamas took him into custody late yesterday to face federal charges, including violating securities laws here in the U.S.
It's unclear when U.S. authorities will take Bankman-Fried into custody, but it's quite clear Congress wants a piece of this. They want to tighten the rules and regulations of this emerging industry to prevent another collapse of another multi-billion-dollar company, Anne-Marie.
So, we mentioned that Bankman-Fried was supposed to be in Washington, D.C. today. He's not. What happens with the House committee? Do they still go forward?
Yeah, the House Committee on Financial Services will proceed with its investigative hearing into emerging cryptocurrency. Bankman-Fried was actually supposed to appear virtually from the Bahamas for this hearing, and the hearing will continue mostly virtually with the current or new CEO of FTX. Congress recognizes, and this underscores it quite a bit, they need to get deeper into the weeds of cryptocurrency. More regulations might be needed, more law might be needed to order those regulations. They may not be able to get it done before this Congress ends, but they can get this hearing done for sure.
So FTX is based in the Bahamas. I presume that there are some, I guess, benefits to having your company based in the Bahamas, privacy and so on and so forth. But the SEC is filing charges. Why is the U.S. conducting oversight?
Well, the U.S. investors are the ones who, according to the SEC, were defrauded. The victim impact was here in the United States. The virtues of being in the Bahamas are not lost on me or Manny Bajorquez this morning, especially this time of year. But this is one of the concerns, that having the company based overseas may limit the number of controls that U.S. regulators can put in place. I expect that to be a key component of today's hearing before the House Committee on Financial Services.
Yeah, though he might be facing charges down there as well. So the SEC has also charged Bankman-Fried, which is what we just mentioned. So can you tell us a little bit more about the SEC's charges?
Yeah, these are two different worlds, but they're going to kind of collide or intersect today. The Securities and Exchange Commission files this charge of orchestrating a scheme to defraud investors. It'll actually run through the federal court system as well, at least the administrative part of the federal court system. On a parallel track will come the U.S. Department of Justice criminal charges, which are to be unsealed in the Southern District of New York early this morning. That'll run parallel with the SEC charges. The difference is key. The SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, is seeking administrative remedies against Sam Bankman-Fried. The Department of Justice will likely be seeking prison time.
Ooh, that is serious. And you know, you brought up something just sort of a moment ago about the government looking into regulation. I mean, crypto is not new. It's been around now for a while. Many people have made a lot of money. Many people have lost a lot of money. But like it's always the case that laws always seem to be trailing the technology. I'm wondering if a collapse of such a large platform, FTX, is giving regulators a sense of urgency.
I think that's exactly right. I think this has infused this issue with urgency. Cryptocurrency is something some members of Congress have a deep understanding of. But I'll tell you, some members of Congress do not have a deep understanding of cryptocurrencies, just like so many people have yet to understand this rather intricate, if not arcane, form of digital currency. This should underscore the significance of what Congress is trying to do. Create, if necessary, new law to build a regulatory structure that prevents exactly what happened here. The collapse of a company that could have cost investors and might have indeed cost investors billions of dollars.
Yeah, I'm convinced that there are like 3, maybe 4 people on the planet that thoroughly understand cryptocurrency and the blockchain, and then a bunch of other people that are crossing their fingers and hoping for the best, but it doesn't always turn out. Scott, thank you very much.